Hi everyone, this is Xavier and today we're reviewing The 4-Hour Week by Tim Ferriss, an excellent book that goes beyond time management as we know it. The book is around the concept of 4 process step that spells the word DEAL, D-E-A-L. It stands for definition, elimination, automation, and liberation. Let's dive right in. The definition chapter is around the concept that the words that we're using are reflective of our efficiency and our perception of the world and our work. And Tim Ferriss goes into a list of words that are used in a wrong way that is not helping us being as efficient and effective as we would like to be. Take, for instance, challenging the status quo. There is a difference between that and being stupid. Some of you must have felt that already with some people around you who say that they are challenging the status quo, but in the end their behavior and the results is the latter. The concept and definition of timing and the right timing is talked into, as well as asking for forgiveness, not permission. And what Tim Ferriss goes into here is really the idea that it's better to take a decision, ask for forgiveness afterwards, or do you prefer to ask for permission and things not to happen? Well, that's something really to ponder, especially when you have a lot of people working for you and you working with your boss, right? So it depends really if you're action-oriented or if you're just passive and waiting for things to happen and coming on your plate. Tim Ferriss goes also into a chart here that helps you as an exercise on top of all the actions and questions that really help you question yourself and your concepts of your work. So this grid goes into the definition of dreams, and Tim Ferriss is not a firm believer into very long-term timelines. He prefers very short ones, so it takes about 6 months on average, and he breaks down a dream in 6-month time, imagine, between having, being, and doing. So each dream that is asking the reader to go through and to break it down with specific tasks, specific goals that are measurable, obviously, and accountable. Tim Ferriss helps the reader going through that process for themselves. The second chapter, elimination. Elimination is a very interesting chapter. It was very interesting for me. And 2 concepts that are introduced here. The first one is the Parkinson's law, and that law dictates that the closer you get to the deadline, the smaller the task. You must have been in projects or heard of projects or tasks that you wanted to implement. Those that do not have any time frames or timelines or deadlines, or those that have timelines and deadlines that are very, very far ahead, tend to make the project or the idea look monstrous and enormous task. While other people, like me for example, tend to postpone things for the last minute, and that really squeezes the time available, obviously, to meet the deadline, and concentrate the efforts and the focus on that specific task, which makes the entire task in itself relatively small. The second concept is the Pareto effect, and the Pareto law says that that's the famous 80-20 rule, really, and that is applied in such a wide range of situations. We say that 20% of your customers are bringing 80% of your revenue. You can turn it around as well and saying that, or use it in different areas, for example, saying that 80% of your time is wasted on 20% of your daily tasks. Another one here, 20% of the sources are causing 80% of your problems. And that was really something that helped me a lot, especially to put it down on the paper and breaking down my daily tasks and what I've been doing, not what I'm going to do, but what I've done. So then I could analyze the time that I spent on certain things, and realizing that the time wasters are only 20%, but they do wasted 80% of my time. And that is a very, very powerful one to go through. The third step is automation, and that is an also very, very important tool, actually, especially for entrepreneurs and startups. Realizing that actually you don't have to do everything yourself. And I'm not talking about delegating headlessly, like I've seen around many, many times, and people are just becoming lazy by washing off their hands totally of their responsibilities and delegating and hiding behind the excuse that they are forming and training people under them to do the tasks. The thing is, there's a big difference between delegating, right, and just discharging yourself of your tasks. And the difference is the accountability. If you are responsible for it, delegating it doesn't mean that you're not responsible anymore. So that is where some definitions, again, to go back to the first chapter, are coming handy. Automation is very important as well. And just yesterday, a few days ago, I was talking with some colleagues about the Outlook and emails that coming and are bothering, and you need to get rid of them. You don't want the notifications or these kind of things. And there are tools that you can use to automate your work to make it more efficiently. Same thing as notifications in terms of your phone, or having notifications of your emails. How many times in your phone do you have a beep for a WhatsApp, for a Messenger, for a Facebook notification, Instagram, an email that just arrived, and you feel compelled to go and have a look at what it is. And even if you say, oh no, but I'm not opening the email, oh, I'm not opening the message, the fact is that you stop the conversation to have a look at what it is. And that is a time waster. The last point is about liberation, and liberation with liberating your mind, really. That's what this chapter is about. And obviously, I mean, Tim Ferriss goes as far as talking about liberating yourself from your work and from your boss, etc. But you don't have to go to that extreme, obviously. Tim Ferriss introduces the concept of mini retirements. And really the idea is to find things that make you feel good and that keeps you going, mini vacations. And it doesn't mean cheap, by the way. It's really about organizing your time so you do things that you really enjoy. This is a great book. As I said, it goes way beyond time management, and I really encourage you to go through that. It helped me tremendously. And my parting question to you is, find out what are the 20% of your tasks or the things that you do in a day that are actually wasting 80% of your time. Stay centered.